Hi, Rachel here. It's the 13th of March 2025, and I would love to talk about Virgo and Pisces energies. Tomorrow morning in the UK, 14th of March, and overnight if you're in the US, we will be having the full moon in Virgo. Now, every full moon we get to balance the opposites, and it makes us really emotional often because the moon is at its brightest and it's shining a light on how we haven't balanced those opposites in the past, and it can be very clarifying and revealing. It's like the light of the moon just goes, here's what you need to see and know. So I wanted to just freely talk about those energies of Pisces and Virgo. Now, there is so much. There is really so much to talk about, but hopefully I will be intuitively guided to say whatever is relevant for the people who are going to watch this to receive on this day as we move through this particular full moon. Now, it's also an eclipse, a lunar eclipse. It's a south node lunar eclipse. Okay, I won't tell you about my south node lunar eclipses. They can be enormously shifting and enormously clarifying and reveal to us something that we just didn't see before, that is like, boom, now you see it, now you know it. However, I don't want that to be, I don't want you to take that in a scary kind of way, because this is going to happen anyway. You're going to come into the awareness. So how about we just sit with it, embrace it, let it be. With all the energy in Pisces at the moment, we have Sun, Neptune, what else have we got there? Oh, Saturn and North Node. There's quite a lot going on in Pisces at the moment. And also Mercury and Venus are going to come back during their retrograde periods into Pisces. So we get a lot of this wrapping up, closing up of what we have felt and known intuitively, because Pisces is super intuitive. Let there be light. You see, the light just changed. So when we are in touch with our Pisces self, Pisces isn't just endings. It's not just the last sign because it's associated with closing things and endings and closures and completions, even though it is. But we only get to close something and complete it when we embrace everything. So it's like we're drawn into understanding all that is. So I want you to feel into Pisces as being all of the signs. So it's like Aries, Taurus, Gemini, all of it, all 12, all bundled up in this one glorious Pisces. It's like this old soul knowing, the infinite awareness. It puts us in touch with the all of everything, timelessness, infinity. It allows us to completely dissolve our boundaries and be boundless. When people say boundaries to me, I'm like, I don't really know what you mean. I didn't get these skills through being anything other than boundless. Like, what are you talking about? I'm kind of being a little bit silly now. So this is where the sun is at the moment, and these are the energies that we've been processing, dealing with, feeling into. It's intuitive knowing. So anything that puts us in touch with our eternal soul. People say higher self. I'm a fan of eternal soul. Just feels good to me. It's the all of everything, the cosmic ocean, the allowing space for everyone to be just as they are in this here and now moment. Bring presence right now to whatever is true, just to all of it, to the truth of how you feel in this here and now moment, and just let that be. Let that be real, let that be true. It's that space where our soul connects with our infinity, with our infinite self, beyond the transient, beautiful, temporary nature of this one personality, this one body, this one lifetime. Not diminishing this one amazing body and identity and personality and self. But that's Virgo, okay? So if we hop over to the other side, Virgo is about structure, boundaries, cognitive awareness. Virgo is absolutely amazing, excellent beyond belief, and I praise my Virgo friends for this, at refining, organising, structuring vast volumes of data. And I mean whatever realm they operate in, whatever realm you're operating in, you are bringing deep clarity. It's like that scientific minded clarity. And you're able to bring, it's like that atomic scientific clarity that explains this Piscean vastness. Now, whether a Virgo and somebody carrying this Virgo energy, and let's face it, it's all of us, like we can all work with Virgo energy. I don't have any planets in either Virgo or Pisces. It doesn't mean I'm not working with that energy. I happen to be bringing Virgo energy through the organising of educational materials, the organising of thinking and speaking, it's all about Mercury, and the organising of my own story, which was, being a child who wasn't able to express and talk about and therefore cognitively understand the vast array of clairvoyant material at my disposal. Pisces. So I was living this like totally Pisces childhood within the Virgoan structure of mainstream 3D constructs. It was a shit show, and I didn't begin to consciously fully accept myself and unravel the whole lot until I was 33. You can only imagine how that closet was fit to burst by then. And I mean me, I was fit to burst. Now Virgo is me organising that into my book so that through words I can explain through story that which may help others to cognitively connect with their heart and with their eternal soul. Okay, that's how I'm playing with these energies. So I'm really hoping that this eclipse just goes, here's how you just finish your book once and for all, because really it feels like it's kind of gone on long enough, and it is an old story now, and I want to bring that to conclusion so that I can move on with the rest of my life and work. Now, I have a lot of clients who are either Virgo ascendant or who have key planets in Virgo. So Virgo Sun, Virgo Mars, Virgo Venus. I have a lot of those clients, and I value enormously my Virgo friends who have an amazing ability to say the right thing to help others make connections. And when I say make connections, I actually mean, in terms of Pisces Virgo polarity, I mean make the connection between divine wisdom and how that translates through bodily awareness and mental awareness. So it might be that somebody is a talented psychotherapist who understands the nervous system, somatic awareness, and how that is the bridge between occupying more of the divine realms into the human, grounded, practical human life, and be able to talk about it in an embodied way to help others feel more settled about what might have been scary, crazy, felt like, anything that's felt chaotic, like that Piscean chaos, like swimming in the sea of chaos, where you feel like you have to delude yourself in order to survive, which is, like, let's face it, the majority of the population, sadly, in the Western world, like falling under those mainstream societal constructs that don't support Pisces energy in its fullness. It's more controlled, manipulated, and those who have had, which I believe is pretty much all of us, contact with greater vastness of intuitive knowing and awareness, and of course the degree to which we are open or not, open or closed in that awareness differs greatly between person to person. No judgment, we're all on our different journeys. Just because I can see my past lives doesn't mean it's right for everybody else. Of course it's not. People have chosen what is correct for them in this lifetime, now, in the here and now, okay? And we get to stop judging. We get to come to mental clarity where we can go, it's all okay. Literally, Pisces, it's all okay. How can we bring our mind into knowing that and settle our nervous system into living that as an embodied truth where it genuinely is okay, without getting triggered, without getting fearful? And there's a huge piece of work often for people to do, there has been for me, in terms of healing to match those things up. So Virgo is ruled by Mercury. There's all the mental activity. Virgos are absolutely amazing at organising vast amounts of data, whether that is bodily awareness, such as people who work with the intersection of, say, repressed energetic emotions, like that are translated as illness in the body. I tend to see a lot of Virgos be really good with that. Like they literally can look at somebody and go, oh yeah, problem with your pancreas or something. I mean, honestly, mind blown. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But like, because that's not me. I can't do that. But I see amazing people who can. Virgos also the people who can just remember a whole load of herbal medicines and what they are used for to support organic human bodily wellness. Again, it's like it feels like a mystery to me, but these are examples of Virgo understanding nature and the body, the intersection of how this earth plane supports us and how we need to nurture and support the earth in return. Virgo people seem to get that. Virgo people seem to also have more of a tendency towards prioritizing fitness, routine, habit, understanding how things like fasts and detoxes really help the vehicle of the vessel of the body to be a much more efficient divine conductor. So at this full moon, however Virgo tendencies play out for you, whether that comes through writing, speaking, health awareness, the ability to store information in the correct part of your brain rather than having it held as trauma, because a lot of, I do think that quite a lot of what I would call light worker trauma or spiritual trauma, spiritual wounding, exists on this dynamic here on the Pisces Virgo end of the spectrum. By that I mean things like religious dogma and the cognitive dissonance that it puts people into. Cognitive dissonance produces psychological stress. When you work through it and you go, oh, right, it's because I had my messages served up with like love at the same time as love and divinity, totally mixed up with control, coercion, dogma, shut down, you know, get on your knees and pray for how sinful you are and we're going to tell you what to believe. like hell you are. But that puts you into cognitive dissonance. And once you've worked through all of that, if you are a recovering religious person who has found their own way into spirituality and found closure and completion in a practical cognitive sense for yourself, that's another example of that Pisces Virgo dynamic. So balancing these two, it can go either way. And I think the thing to really notice at this time for yourself is, where do you feel like Pisces has gone into overdrive, like feeling all at sea, or not being able to structure something, having tons and tons of intuitive awareness, but not being able to translate it and ground it and make it practical? They're just examples. Could be anything that comes up for you. But it's that, like, you know, bobbing around, just endlessly bobbing around. Like, yeah, but where's the structure to the chaos? Where's the, oh, and that's what I'm meant to do with it. Right, now I can ground it. Now I can make this practical. Now I'm ready to put this discrete part of the thing in the ocean into a course, or a blog post, or a clarification of who I am and what I'm here to do, or that's how I finish off this chapter of my book. However it comes to be you, there could well be some clarification and clarity that drops in at this time. Conversely, it might be that you realise that you're a freaking control freak and you're perfectioning the life out of everything, and you don't post something because you're like, oh, but it's not too, you know, it's not good enough, it's not quite perfect enough, or I forgot to say that thing, so you've got a 15-minute video and you're like, shit, I forgot to say that thing, so you don't post the whole thing. It's like, just post the thing, somebody will get something out of it, Pisces. Do you know what I mean? Like, I trust that however much I'm waffling and just free talking right now, somebody will see something that is useful. And if I can help one other person come into even a minor realization that helps them at this full moon, then I've done my job. And by talking it all through for myself, I've probably brought myself into greater clarity about what might be about to drop in tomorrow morning. Because yeah, my own experiences with South Node eclipses are interesting, life-changing. Anyway, don't want to freak you out. So I won't talk about that. Now, one thing that I love to bring in here is people who are working in, say, hypnotherapy or psychotherapy, because they are actually working with this dynamic of Pisces Virgo pretty much all the time, because through the vehicle of this body, we get to make contact with our true soul, our higher self, our eternal soul, our multidimensional self, whatever you want to call our infinite being, and the whole consciousness. We get to do that through these organised techniques. And as a therapist, those people are thinking and making these mental judgments and observations and analysis as they are guiding another person through, say, hypnosis, EMDR, whatever, yeah. And through their body of knowledge about how the human mind works and how the human body works and how people process things for themselves, they can then help a person profoundly come into new meaning that that person may not have been able to do on their own. And at this point, I just want to say something that's very dear to my heart, that over the course of the last 5 years, since I started talking about my own extreme journey and past life awareness and multidimensional contact that I need no ceremony for, I just go into it. Like, I'm just walking about, like, having this awareness. It's like a tap that I can't switch off. Well, it's not quite like that anymore, but it was for a time, and it was pretty big. And I have met a lot of people who've had that going on. And one of the blockers is feeling like you cannot say this to a traditional therapist, or Some people I've met have even ended up being sent to psychiatrists by their family who simply are mainstream 3D shut down conditioned brains, right? And they've sent their remarkably intuitive, amazing child to blooming psychiatrists rather than go, there could be a spiritual perspective coming through here. Whereas for me, it was just shut down and shut up. Only crazy people see and hear things that aren't there. Right. So I did. I just like shut down and then it all came bursting out like a blooming volcano years later. But this fear that people have of not being able to be seen and witnessed and just heard in their real, truthful experience is a thing that I'm very passionate about. And it really fucking riles me, sorry, language, about traditional medical psychotherapy, which is often total shutdown. And I just want to say a massive, massive, massive thank you to the people who are well qualified in understanding the brain and the body and how all of this works, but they are also wide open and curious to the entire body of Piscean infinite stuff that people will be able to make contact with through their, intuition and the contact that they make through wherever it comes through. And one thing I am damn sure of is that no one gets to tell you whether your experiences that you have had in your third eye are right or wrong. They are yours to own, right? Nobody owns what's in your third eye. Not now, not ever. I'm really, really clear on that, okay? And if you are a person who has struggled with having vast amounts of spiritual awareness and not a safe space to say that, and that has prevented you from also getting the mental health support that you need, please come and ask me for a recommendation. And I know a lot of people who are really talented in that area. And it just feels like something that's really close to my heart to say that. So thank you for hearing that piece. So, now this could be coming through, this Pisces Virgo dynamic could be coming through in any area of your life, depending on which house it's in your chart. If this is coming through in love, you might notice that you've been a hopeless romantic. Put those rose-tinted specs on, dissolve your boundaries, have no boundaries, just like bobbing about in the sea of love, anything goes, right? You probably have no type. It's just like, yeah, okay, I'm open and receptive. It might be that at this time, Virgo comes in and kind of goes, here are your boundaries, here's where you've had enough, here's where the discernment piece comes in, here's the mental clarity that you need, here is actually what's been going on, how you've been feeling like you've just been treated like shit, but actually it's because you were responding to a partner who had like disorganized attachment, or do you see what I mean? There are a lot of mental frameworks, trauma perspectives that many more people are now sharing to help us understand what has really been going on, okay? So bringing that Virgo clarity to what's really been going on, you can rewrite those old stories where you were all at sea. That's just one example. Could be coming through in any area of your life. Could be family. You could start seeing, oh, right, like, now I can see the mental health of those family members. Actually, there was possibly some kind of personality disorder going on there, and I just didn't see it. I've been at the mercy of it. Okay, that's another example. So, key things to look at do you have planets in Virgo? Do you have planets in Pisces? Are Virgo Pisces at a key axis in your chart? And also this particular full moon is going to happen at 23 degrees of Virgo. Do you have any planets or axes at 23 degrees of any of the mutable signs? So we're looking at Virgo, Pisces, but also Sagittarius, Gemini. I would say that the vast majority of people I work with have key placements in mutable signs because they're so good at wrapping things up and morphing and going with the flow and using their energies to help others, to serve others, to morph around others and to bring clarity and conclusion. So I think, oh gosh, I've written so much here in my notes, but I feel like I'm done there. Thank you for listening to this. If there is anything that you feel comes up for you that you would like to pop in the comments, please feel free to do so. If you have found value in this, I would so appreciate you liking, sharing, subscribing, because those little actions really help to spread the knowledge, spread the love, spread the joy, spread my work, and allow me to continue to keep making free content. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful full moon lunar eclipse.